Just narrate it, and we'll do it live, Trevor. We'll do it live.
I'll write it, and we'll put it on the teleprompter, and we'll do it live.
Or we restarted.
This is terrible. All right, tall boys and technical difficulties. Sorry, everybody. Looks like I am. My webcam took a crap. That is the problem. That's what we had. We're back to it here on Tall Boys and Technical Difficulties. Trevor, continue with your Leatherman story, please.
All right, for what I feel like is the fifth time that I did this. My Leatherman story was that Shiloh bought it for me for my birthday shortly before I rode with you guys for the first time. And the first thing that Leatherman did was cut and split a sapling to be used as a splint for AJ's knee when he blew his ACL out.
That's a useful thing.
Super useful.
Yeah. Leathermans are good.
Love mine. Leatherman's good. JB Weld's good. Carry both.
Oh, that is a good one.
Got it both. Mr. Tom, let's try this one more time. If you could only do 2 mods to a motorcycle, what would they be, my friend?
Tires was my number 1, and levers is number 2. Something like the foldable ARCs because I don't like full wrap handguards.
Okay. Levers, that's a first on the show. I like that. I like that.
I mean, I like the way that the factory levers feel, but they break.
What's your hold up or preference against full wraps?
I like to kind of hold the ends of the bars. Like a lot of times my pinkies are almost hanging off.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get that. Especially when stuff starts to get pretty hairy and loose. It's nice to have that like extra leverage, having your hands out a little bit further.
To clip that, hairy and loose, huh?
What was the name of that road?
Betty Bowman. She was definitely
probably did get hairy and loose.
Yeah.
Very much
sure
so,
did.
Man. Very much in there. All right, Tom, we've kind of talked a little bit about this as we went along this tonight, but your YouTube channel, MCMX.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that a little bit because I feel like you do the best job of anyone I've seen at showcasing what goes on at these rallies and what it takes to finish one. I always like your commentary when you're talking about what's going on. Just talk about the YouTube channel and then what made you decide to put the rally footage on there.
I mean, I just like from riding with Kane all the time and being on the rallies, I was filming a ton of footage anyway. So I'm like, well, I might as well just start a YouTube channel. You know, I have all this footage. And then when I came to do the 24-hour rally, the reason I decided to film that was because whenever I messaged you, I first found out about the 24-hour rallies. There was like no information on the internet about it. There was like, you know, you can go to the 24 hours website and you can see the requirements, but there was nothing that really showed me what to expect. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to film a video and I'm going to put it out there to let people know this is what it looks like. This is what the terrain's like. This is what you should expect. Because it just like, it can vary so much. Like what you think is adventure riding, someone else thinks is literally hard enduro, you know? So I figured it was a good idea. Just film it, put it up, see what happens. And a lot of people watched it, so that was cool.
That's the end goal, right? Make sure we get some people out there. Now, like I said, I just really appreciate the way that you cut it up, you show the highlights, and you know, a lot of times people don't like to narrate or they don't like the sound of their own voice on a video. So I really like how you explain what's going on throughout the entire thing.
I don't like the way my voice sounds.
I'm convinced most people actually don't.
No.
So
we do a podcast and we hate our own voices, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. But I wish we had a little bit more time to talk about it. But you mentioned previously your iron butt ventures.
Oh yeah, yeah. So my grandpa lives in Gainesville, Florida, and he's super old at this point, Vietnam vet, and kind of has every kind of Vietnam complication you can imagine, you know. So I try to get down there and see him as much as I can, and I like to ride, so I put a sheepskin on my Tenere and I just go. And a couple
Nice.
times now, I've just done the trip straight through. I've never actually turned in for an official iron butt. I did it once where I saved all the receipts and photographed everything along the way, and then just got busy and never turned it in. But at some point, I will. At some point.
Do you feel like doing that kind of help with the 24-hour rally?
Oh yeah,
stuff?
yeah, for sure. It's really just being comfortable sitting on the bike for that long is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get better at riding further, then you just need to ride more. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Get better by doing.
Yep.
It isn't funny though too when you do that. Say you're doing an iron butt challenge or you're riding 500-600 miles in a day, how you will notice little things about a motorcycle that you hate. Like, man, I really hate where my clutch is. Like, it wouldn't be a problem if he's doing like a 100-mile rally or something like that or a ride, but I found myself changing up so many things on both of my bikes just because like I think in your video you said there that like one of your straps or something was rubbing the back of your calf, like a fuel bottle, like just little things like that aren't a problem on a day ride, but man, you do stuff like this, it really becomes a problem.
Yep, and that's the same place I put that fuel bottle a dozen times before, you know, so just for whatever reason, it just, you know, hit me enough times that it started to bother my leg, you know.
Yeah.
But
and 17 and 16, 12, somewhere there, many hours rubbing on you, it tends to hurt a little bit, right?
Sure does, yeah. yeah, it definitely does.
Talk a little bit about how I was very interested in and thought it was cool of your dad and your girlfriend kind of following you around during the Kentucky rally and being your pit stop. I kind of like that.
Yeah, so like it's something I've never done before, but since I knew I was going to have a crazy time getting there, I asked them to drive me down to take up some of the workload off of me. And my dad likes that kind of stuff anyway, so he was in. And I figured since they're going to be there, why not be my pit crew essentially? So I would pick a spot about halfway on each loop, about 80-ish miles, and they would just drive out there and meet me. And then instead of them just hanging out in the same place the whole time, they get to experience a little bit of the region also. And, you know, they got to drive through like Nada Tunnel and they got to see some cool stuff, right? But it was nice. It was kind of cool to like, you know, you're feeling like crap and
see a familiar face out there.
Yeah, just kind of stop in. Like, you know, our dog was there too, so that was nice. Stop in, get some gas, pet the dog, say hi, and then head back out again in a minute, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah,
that was cool.
yeah. That's awesome, though, dude. That's glad to hear.
Probably won't have that every time, but you know, when I can have it, it's nice to have it.
Yeah. I think that was the wife's biggest complaint about these, or like when I was doing cross country racing and stuff, was like you only see me once every lap or something. Like you don't really get to see what happens out there, which I think also kind of illustrates the need for videos like you put out on the channel there, where everybody can see what's going on out there during the rally. So, like again, really do appreciate that. Make sure you guys check him out there on MCMX. Great videos about the 24-hour rally series and such. So, thank you for putting out that stuff, bud.
Yes, sir.
Tom, is there anybody you want to thank or anything like that before we move on a little bit?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, probably more than anybody, it's like Kane from Appalachian ADV just for inviting me along and getting me involved with the whole, you know, ADV bike. And basically everybody I've met to this point is because me and him got along, and he's just like, yeah, you know, come hang out with us, right? So he's probably the catalyst to this whole thing.
It's good to hear, man. It's what this thing's all about, community, right? And building that together, building relationships, and you know, rising tides raise all ships, as I like to say. So
absolutely,
you don't really see a whole lot of negative people in this sport, and if you do, people don't hang out with them typically. So it's good to see and good to interconnect with everyone. It's
the best community I've been involved with so far, and like, there's no egos, nothing like that. Everyone's just super nice.
Good deal, man. Last thing before we kind of shift gears here, I want to touch on what's a typical event year look like for you? What do you like to do throughout the year? Do you kind of devil may care, come as you go, or you like to plan things out for the whole year?
I tend to plan things out more so, just because that's the way that Appalachian ADV does their stuff. 24 Hour does their things now. That's something I'm adding to my schedule. And then also, like, it's just whatever gets on the schedule first, right? So if I don't add it, something else is going to fill that spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How chilly was your Willie there?
Oh my God, dude. It was so cold. Yeah. I guess for people that don't know, there was a event down in North Carolina, and it was just a week or so ago, and it was freezing and soaking wet the whole time.
I definitely need to add that to my schedule.
It was fun, man. It was insane. It was so slippery.
Yeah, looks like a good time. Anytime we can get down south in some sand in December is probably better than it's going to be here in the snow, right?
Yes, that is a fact.
All right, well, hang with us here. We're going to get through a little bit of industry news. First up, and let me get everything organized here and put up here. A little bit of local industry news. Hatfield-McCoy trail boss Jeff Lusk has called it a career after 20 years. He's the executive director of the Hatfield-McCoy Trail System, and he announced his retirement here this past week. He's led most definitely the most popular off-road tourist destination in the state of West Virginia and done a fantastic job building that thing up. He kind of had this to say in a news article. He said he started in 2005 as the executive director at that time, and he had 5 trail systems with barely 400 miles of trail, and they hosted about 11,000 riders that year. Snapshot forward to today, 20 years later, they have 13 trail systems, over 1,000 miles of trail, and this year he's going to host around 95,000 riders. That's incredible to think about on that trail system, with about 85,000 of those being out-of-state people. So really cool. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of direction Hatfield-McCoy takes in the future. But heck of a job for Mr. Lusk here in the last 20 years. There's a picture of him there. So appreciate all the efforts that he's had impacting off-roading here in the state of West Virginia. Next up, we have Trevor. Would you say that this is kind of, cheating in a way? How high have you gotten on a motorcycle? That's the main question we need to ask ourselves, right?
I know how low I've got on one.
Moto Mountaineering Electric Boogaloo 2. Swiss mountaineer Jerry Zach has set the world record for the highest distance traveled on a motorcycle at 22,050 feet. He attempted this feat on a Stark Varg EX in Los Ojos del Salillo, Chile. Probably butchering that. Volcano. Jerry accomplished a similar feat back in 2020 on a KTM 450 EXC at 21,460 feet, but with no need for air or internal combustion. He says the plan is to go even higher soon. You think this is cheating, Trevor?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't compare it to the record of an internal combustion engine bike, but somebody needs to ride one to like the top of Everest. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's the zenith in your mind there, Everest.
Well, no, really, the zenith is like a motocross circuit on other planets.
Oh, there we go.
Or the moon.
Low gravity. Don't jump that triple. You'll end up in the sun. Don't do it.
Yeah. You jump right off into the crater.
I think this is interesting. That kind of reminded me of the old Top Gear special where they were there in Chile and taking Viagra to lower their blood pressure and stuff to be able to go up that high. Wonder if he had to do that.
Hammond was just doing it for the love of the game.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true. All right. Last in industry news, and certainly not least, KTM 390 recall. KTM North America has announced a recall of 6,546 motorcycles across its KTM and Husqvarna lineups due to an ECU engine management system software defect. Now, this applies to all 2025 390 and 401 variants, be it the Svartvillain 401 Huskies and the 390 Adventure and Enduro R. Says the defect can stall the bike at certain RPMs. Still no fix for the foot peg kickstand issues, though, which I think is kind of interesting. anybody's watched any of the new reviews on the 390s, that seems to be a really bad problem. It's like if you stand up and you start going off road, the foot peg flexes enough to kill the bike because it thinks the kickstand switches down too far. So
it just wants to be a Himalayan.
They're made in the same place now.
Well, it's never good when there's a mass recall.
No, never
So,
is.
we'll see what the future holds.
All right. That's going to lead us to the last segment of 2025, and that is the last Had to Layer Down of the year, boys. Without further ado, let's Had to Layer Down.
Did you run into some clippings? Did Barb take the kids? Well, Hoss, maybe you had to layer down.
This week's Had to Layer Down is brought to us by Social Rider, and I believe this was actually in South America, captured on an Insta360. And this is some pay attention clippings. Let's let the clip play. Ejecto seat, cuz.
I can't wait to do that to Arthur.
Poor guy. Why is he always? He was supposed to come to the Christmas shindig too.
Yeah, I know he was.
Always make sure you can have a nice clear field of view and don't rear end people.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to see a 5 foot wide ADV bike with bags and all that junk.
In a giant wide open desert like that, where it's probably the only thing you're going to see in front of you.
If I'd have thought about it, I could have submitted a video myself for the final clippings of the year. Shiloh did get me on video wiping out like low siding in the yard in the snow the other day. So we'll save it for another time.
Sounds good. Well, Tom, we appreciate you coming on and dealing with our shenanigans and all the technical issues. We apologize for that, everybody, but we'll get through it next year, hopefully.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Anytime, my friend. And that's going to do it for us here on the last episode of 2025 on Tom
and Track Masters. Thank you, Tom, and thank you to the viewers. We'll see you guys again in 2026.
Hopefully with a better streaming service.
Fingers crossed.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good Christmas and a happy new year, and we'll see you next time on Tall Boys and Track Masters.